Here we are, extra bases, seen everywhere. Jason Bristol, Jeremy Booth. Jeremy Booth, I know you're not in Houston. However,
I am not.
Lance McCullers. What's the term today?
Oh,
Shoving? He was shoving? Is that what the kids are saying?
kids say a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true. But Lance McCullers making his fifth start in his return. Listen, man, this was his best start, obviously, since 2022. 102 pitches. He struck out a career high tied a career high with his 12 strikeouts in 6 innings as the Astros beat the Athletics. Yes, in some ways, might argue it's a AAA lineup, but you have to feel happy for Lance. And now the big question is, how much can they get out of Lance? Because they gave him a leash. I mean, Joe Espada basically said, this is your inning to finish, and he ended up with 102 pitches. I think the last time he was 81, so that's a significant jump. Are you okay with that?
How do I answer that question? I don't know that what I'm okay with they're ever gonna do. So
That's true because you want relief. Yeah.
Well, I want to see the guy stay on the field at maximum value. I'm tired of seeing the guy get hurt. My brain still thinks about long-term value and execution and all that fun stuff. That's what my brain thinks about. I'm not interested in short-term gains unless the club thinks this is his last year, right? And even then, you have to, if he's going to be a starter now, does he fit in the rotation in the postseason?
Jeremy, he may have to. They're running out of guys.
Yeah, I said last year when Javier got hurt, I said something's up with their pitching development, evaluations, medical, something's up how they're doing it because that's a lot of guys now. And it's just continual. And these guys are gone for, years at a time. It's not a couple of months or a week or they're gone. So I'm happy for Lance McCullers every time he takes the rock. I really am. One thing I respect about him the most is compete, besides talent. Big leaguer, he's been actually, when he's on the field, he can be a very good one. The issue with Lance has always been his durability. So I still have the same concerns as I do. If he throws 9 scoreless and gives up 25 in the first, you know what I mean? Like he's just not. That's the wrong role. It's the wrong role, and the history has backed that up over time. And I'm just hopeful he stays on the field now. So I guess the answer is, for whatever they're going to do, man. All right, let's go. Whatever they should be doing, they're not doing that.
And the number of pitches off the top of my head was wrong. So his last start prior to this one on the 22nd against Seattle, he threw 91 pitches. Before that, 83. Obviously, he only had 36 in that disastrous start against the Reds at Daikin Park. His first outing, he threw 87, first outing in the big league. So 102. Yeah.
How about 25? How about 30 pitches a night? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with
I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they can afford to do that at this point.
Well, but if they had done this the whole time, then we don't have the issue in the first place. Like, what about him coming out and having a pitch limit of 30 pitches every night as a reliever, and he's got 1 inning or 2, and he has to throw fire. He doesn't get to throw back-to-back days. It's every other day regardless. No more than 3 times in 5 days, right? Or 3 times in 5 days. What about a plan like that where you can keep him on the field and he ends up taking the ball 70 nights a year as a bullpen guy? What is wrong with that role? What are we that fragile that the egos are what we're doing? Oh, he's got to be a starter. This guy is Rich Harden all over again. Rich Harden's been renamed Lance McCullers. Okay, and so I'm telling you, I'll never get. I think I even looked at you and told you, I said that's his role. I'll never forget 2017 when he came out of the bullpen and was like, it was John Smoltz-ish. You know what I mean? So anyway, um, I hope he holds up. I mean, and I mean that. I really, really, really hope he holds up. I don't know that he's going to. I don't know that he won't. I hope he holds up.
And the Astros are hoping the same. Time for some viewer comments. And this is not from an Extra Bases. This is from Sports Extra Extra.
Who's that?
You, Jeremy.
Oh,
Jeremy, when we were breaking down the season through the 1/3 mark, are the Astros where we thought they'd be at this point in the season? And then the Astros, when it comes to starting pitching, buy now or buy later? Buy meaning doing something at the trade deadline. And you said trading Jake Myers can help fill a void. And of course, I couldn't let that go without some pushback.
you? Go on.
There are some comments on the YouTube page. Some dude 1901 says, "Hold on to a player for years, trade him as soon as he's producing for the team." I don't know if that's said in jest, or I'm guessing it is.
Well, first of all, it's a fake avatar. Second of all, we've been down this road a million times, right?
Can I
And
can I get to the other ones before
no,
we?
but
No.
wait a
All right.
minute. So we've been down this road a million times, and I'm just let me check. Carry the two undefeated. So it's not. I'm not interested. It's great, good for you. I'm glad to hear what you're saying. The point is to get something back. You shouldn't have carried him this long. You did. Now get something back before it goes back the other way. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
The Matt Jacks says, "Not the rattlesnake. Who gonna bite them fools?" Jake the Snake.
That's funny.
Someone said the top pitching prospects are an A ball for the Astros.
Not wrong.
Astros need two new left-handed hitters, way worse than they need a starting pitcher.
Disagree, but okay.
Framber Valdez, Lance McCullers could be traded for top prospects if the Astros don't make it. Framber, but
Not McCullers. This city has way. Gosh, I
it's
feel
not this
like
city, Jeremy. Every team, every fan base always, it's amazing to me. It doesn't matter the sport, it doesn't matter the team, every fan base, and I don't want to put Lance in this category, but every
why not?
fan base believes, hey, here's somebody we don't want. Let's ship them off to somebody, and maybe they'll definitely give us something really good in return. I mean, it's crazy. When you are looking at trade proposals, people think, well, we don't need this guy and he's not very good. Someone will clearly give us something good for that.
So, yeah, but where I was going with it was this city has way overvalued Lance McCullers. No one's going to trade for him. You're not going to give up anything valuable. If the guy's been hurt 17 times, maybe he comes in, out of the, a 4A guy, or maybe he's a filler or a low A prospect, something like that. You're not
You
going to
might
get
as well
anything
keep him
back.
for that price.
Yeah, for that you just keep him now. Remember, the guy's making how much a year? You don't know what you're going to get. You know what I mean? So I'm not. That's a no on
You'd
him.
be, yeah. I mean, he's at, gosh, what's he at now? Anyways,
A lot.
5 years, 85 million.
That's a
So
lot for somebody who ain't going to take the ball, man. That's a lot. What's his last year? This year or next year?
next year,
Yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, go
22
ahead.
through 26. But again, it is Lance is a gamer. Lance is incredibly gracious with his time with reporters. It's just great to see him out there and gutting it out and making progress, because that's what separates people in this
Yeah,
game.
I don't disagree with any of that. I feel like I'm always, beating him up. I'm not trying to beat him up. I
No,
want to be productive. Anyway, go ahead. Okay.
Jerry2968 says, this isn't a team that can win it all, even if they trade for a number one starter. They need to see where they are around the deadline, and if they fall behind in the race, I would consider trading Valdez. The thing is, the AL West is so average that if you are 500 or over, you should still be in the race. And that is exactly what I was saying, and that's exactly mostly what you were saying.
Yeah,
No, it was what you were saying.
yeah, that's an intelligent argument all the way
Yeah.
around
I mean,
because
being in the AL West provides them with this big, fluffy pillow, this cushion, because all of these teams, you would imagine, are still going to be clumped together for the next month and a half, 2 months. And if the Astros are still within striking distance, 1, 2, 3, I would even say 4 games. You go with what you got. You bring in a piece and you play it out and see what you're gonna do. Because if you do get in the dance, you never know. Anything can happen.
but man, the other side of that is to go get a piece that's going to put you over the top for a championship. You got to give something up.
Well, I didn't say a piece that's going to put you over the top. I just said another piece because they can't. Someone said I think the AL is wide open, and the Astros have 4 guys in their lineup who aren't producing at all to their standards. You add an extra bat or two, this team could get dangerous real quick.
So I talked to some people with the Texas organization. Okay.
I'm sorry, you spoke with some people from the
In the
Texas organization.
yeah, with the Texas Rangers
Okay,
organization,
all right.
and it was just about the change they made at their hitting coach.
Brett
Right.
Boone. Brett Boone is now the new hitting coach,
Right. It wasn't about anything else because
or
I
at
know
least assistant hitting coach. Anyway,
I know Donnie Ecker.
yeah,
I like Donnie Ecker.
I know
I
you
think
do.
Donnie's brilliant. I think he's got a lot going. I think he's a game-changing type. But if you're not connecting somehow with the players, if they're not advancing somehow, it's not a fit. It doesn't matter. That's why people change. It's not, no one takes one of these jobs and they're there till they go, till they stop walking around upright. Like no one does that. It's just the way it is. You take these jobs, you're there for your time, and then when your time is up, you leave. And I say that because I'm not trying to call for Alex Cintron's head. What I am saying is something's got to give, man. You can't. This isn't the same lineup when you rolled out for the Astros rolled out for 7 years. That started off with Springer and ended up with with Tucker and Bregman. They're all gone. The only one that's still here from those days is Altuve, because even Alvarez doesn't count. He was there for a little bit of that, right? Got here in 19. But all those other guys got here when it started. Correa gone. Reddick been gone, right? Springer gone. Gurriel, yep, he gone. So you start looking around the club, and the first base is still where Yuli's left. Is they haven't replaced that. Bregman was playing third, and they got something over there. It's not him, even though he's hurt. But it's not the same team. It's different hitters, different people hear different things and do different stuff. And Alex has to pick it up for them to be productive. Just has to.
Now, not a public service announcement, but
Okay.
Jeremy Booth, being that we are at the quarter mark.
Oh,
No, we're past the quarter mark.
wrote that a week ago, Jason.
Okay. Well, it had to have been longer than a week ago. So let's just change the title of this for no, but on FutureStarsSeries.com, Jeremy Booth wrote quarter mark reality check for all 30 MLB clubs. What I like about it is you apply a organizational grade on the 20 to 80 scouting scale for each organization.
Yep.
In the East, Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Rays, and Orioles. But this is what I found interesting, Jeremy. In the American League West, you have the Mariners with an overall organizational grade of 55. In second place, you have the Rangers,
Yep.
an overall organization grade of 65, which is higher. And then you have in third place the Astros, an overall organization grade of 50. But yet you look at the Baltimore Orioles in the American League East, their overall organization grade is 50. And yet they're what, 18 games behind the Astros in the wins column? Now, before you answer that, You write, the end of an era may be near as the Astros are stuck in mediocrity with aging stars and limited pitching depth beyond the front three starters. Well, I think mediocrity is a bit harsh, a bit strong. I don't think this is mediocrity right now.
If they're 50%, that's mediocre.
That's average.
Same thing. So
Yordan Alvarez and Jeremy Pena are producing, but without a resurgence from Jose Altuve, their window may finally be closing. Update: we've seen a resurgence from Jose Altuve during this most recent homestand. Yordan Alvarez, I would argue he really wasn't producing, and when you sent me this, I mentioned that to you. I'm not sold at all on the outfield alignment with Jake Myers and Chas McCormick, and it's wild Mauricio Dubon doesn't play more. We have since seen Mauricio Dubon play more.
it's almost like they read it.
Cam Smith is set to lead the way for the future, but that doesn't solve 2025. The needs: starting pitching, one outfielder, bench depth. Again, you can read all of this on futurestarsseries.com, and we will try and put a link to this on our page as well.
Free and
But
unlocked.
can you explain to me why that the organizational grade for the Orioles is 50? The organizational grade for the Astros is 50, and the organizational grade for the Mariners is 55.
You want to throw the Rangers in there too?
All right, the organizational grade for the Rangers is 65.
All right, so the Orioles are a 50. I'll start with them because Brandon lost the clubhouse, right? And Brandon Hyde, he lost the clubhouse, and Mike is scared of pitching.
Mike Elias, Astros general manager, or excuse me, Orioles general manager,
Yeah,
former Astros assistant GM.
He's scared of pitching. They've done a good job with the bats. Position players are at their core. The ability is pretty good, and the system isn't terrible. So they're half an organization as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they're clicking in some ways and clicking and not clicking in others. So they're underachieving for what their talent says, but they're not underachieving at the big league level based on the culture and the way they've gone about it this year. So at the time I wrote that, they were 50. Doesn't change. You know, organizations have bad years. It doesn't mean that everybody's got to go.
Okay.
So I think they're a 50. The organization grade, they're an average major league organization right now.
And I imagine that's also your feeling for the Astros at 50.
Well, the Astros are an average major league team, stuck in what's that word again?
It starts with an M.
Yeah, stuck in mediocrity.
I disagree with you, but anyways,
the best part about where we happen to reside and our citizenship is you can do that. And I'm going to respect it. Okay, but the Astros have nothing in the system, although it's getting better. It's getting better slowly, which is what it takes a minute. This does, especially with a shorter draft. It's getting better. The Astros are fighting at the big league level. They overestimated how good they are. I think their front office is, as a whole, still good, although comprised differently, right? I mean, Click had his own version of it, and obviously Jeff Luhnow had his own version of it. But this is better. This is a good fix. It's not something they haven't lost anything. They've gained different perspective at a different time in the organization, which is what you need. They're an average organization right now. They're average. The coaches are okay. They're not great. They're getting better. They have a long way to go. They got complacent, and that's showing up right now. So,
wait a minute, Jeremy. I have a news flash from the Cambridge Dictionary. Hold on. Let me see what it says.
Here we go.
Mediocrity, meaning one, the quality of being not very good.
Just one is average good.
I didn't say it was, but
when you get a C in
is worse than average.
Hold on a minute. When you get a C in school, what do you get? That's a mediocre effort, son. Okay, what do we do? That's a mediocre grade. It's average, mediocre, right in the middle. It's not great. It's not terrible.
So you're telling me this Astros team is not very good?
They're an average team. But who's the viewer of the comment? I don't forget his name. Mario Kart 5000, whatever he said. It's like you're talking about like a team that doesn't isn't going to win the or like most likely isn't going to win the World Series. Is more than one piece away. And it's a 500 club. We all sat there and said they were a 500 club on Sunday. If you're a 500 club in the AL worst, I mean West, you're not going to turn around and get to the World Series. So um, they're a mediocre team. And that's not Dana's doing everything he could. Like if you think about what Dana did for those you listening or watching or watching the show, um, Dana went and got years of control back for unsignable players. That's what he did. It's exactly what he did. As a GM, sometimes you got to recognize I'm not going to sign Alex Bregman, okay? And if you'd given Alex Bregman that contract and Bregman was hurt in Houston, y'all be pissed, and you should be, okay? He's in Boston being hurt up there. Let them deal with it. And when it comes to Tucker, as much as he's performing, we talk about signing Kyle Tucker. Anybody take a look at Juan Soto? Because I know I wrote about him. Anybody take a look at Juan Soto's production and how he's doing for playing for $1 billion? I mean, and I'm not never putting the money down. I'm just saying you have to put things in perspective. And so for the Astros to be good later, they had to be just my turn. Okay, my turn. Mediocre. Okay, and that's what they are. They're mediocre. So they're a
Okay.
fifth.
All
Who's
right. Well,
next?
let me give a proclamation, declaration to all of Major League Baseball. If
Animation.
you are 30 and 25, you are mediocre.
No, you're not.
If you are American League Central
Oh,
and you're 30 and 25, you're in second place, much
oh.
like the Guardians and Twins. If you are 30 and 25 and you play in the American League East, you're just 4.5 games behind the Yankees and you're in second place. That's mediocre.
Jason, what
If
was
you're
the
in the
Astros?
National League and you are in the National League East and you're 30 and 25, you're in third place behind the Phillies and Mets. If you're 30 and 25, you're in second and third place in the National League Central. And the NL West, if you are 30 and 25, you're just 3.5 games behind the LA Dodgers. So I guess you're mediocre.
Hold on a second. All those divisions are whooping up on each other. You're talking about the American League West has a team where the owner tries to pitch, hit, and catch a ball at the same time. The American League West has a team playing in a AAA ballpark that doesn't know how to spend money. So they went to John Fisher and said, "Hey, this is how you do it." He said, "No, no, no, not here. We don't spend money. We put it back in the bank. That's what we do." Okay. So you have two clubs that are just nondescript and they're 500. Well, one of them is. Okay. So I don't want it's a below average. And this is scouting grade, by the way. This is scouting grade. This is below average, not very good. At least the Astros are mediocre and average. Now, when I wrote that, since then I said, and you read it yourself, there were a couple things they needed to do to get better. And guess what happened? Okay, Dubon starts playing more. Altuve comes back to life, and bing, bang, bing, bing, we're good. Okay,
Okay.
we're getting better.
But you're saying right, but you were saying right now they were mediocre.
When I wrote it, it was mediocre. If you ask when I wrote it, now, right, they're still mediocre. There's a better version. They're a 52 and a half. Take them in the fourth round.
All
Roll
right,
them
I
out.
feel much better now. I feel much better now that they're 52, 53.
Yeah, I'm so glad we had this conversation. Okay, who's next? The Rangers or the Mariners? Who you want? Because
I
I
don't
got
know.
we'll talk about. All right, so the Mariners, and this one hurt a little bit because I know it hurt for the Seattle fans because that owner's not going to put him over the top unless he breaks from a long-standing tradition of not putting him over the top. Okay, so what you have is you have a club who has Jerry. I want to dislike Jerry so much. Jerry has tried year in and year out to deal with the hand he's dealt. He's been there over a decade now, right? And so at first it was I'm going to come in and make sure we win at the big league level. And they told me to have the pieces. And it was we can build from within. Well, Jerry doesn't draft and develop real well, right? And then it was we're going to go back to free agent trades and acquisitions. And he tried everything under the sun to get there, and they finally got it clicking. They drafted really well pitching wise. Did a very good job on the mound. They've locked up some bats long term. They got some guys turned into some players, and they have a good core. They have a core they can build around, right? And so if the ownership The front office has their stuff together. Development seemingly has their stuff together. And the big league club seemingly has their stuff together along with the scouting side, scouting and development. They just not over the top yet because you don't know if the ownership's going to give them what they need to win. And I told you, I've been in the room when we had a chance to sign Nelson Cruz and the ownership said no. And when I hit 40 for Baltimore, we got him next year and he had a great year, but it wasn't the same team. So I don't believe in this in the ownership group in Seattle putting them over the top. But the organization as a whole, 55, could be pushing a 60. Let's see where they go. I don't think anybody's at 70 because there's always something missing. You just haven't found it yet. But 60 maybe on the good side. Right now they're 55.
All right. So your point, your perspective is that at the quarter point they were a mediocre team, and now the Astros have improved.
They made we're going
and
back
now
to
they're
that.
slightly above mediocre.
Well, no, they're still a mediocre organization, but they have chances to be better by letting those things play out. And if they fix their lineup construction and personnel issues and their system, then yeah, they can be a 60 real quick. They haven't done all those things.
So this was a whole organization.
This is an org grade.
Okay. I mean, I guess I should have seen that since it actually said organizational grade.
Yeah, that was in the descriptive comments. And so when you get to the Rangers, I got called a homer for this one. This one was fun. I got called a homer and biased because
a homer.
Yeah, because we do so much at
Globe Life Field.
Yeah, at Globe. So I thought it was the Rangers they scout well, they draft well, they free agent sign well, they read their room well, they don't stay healthy well. They're always missing something when something somewhere, whether it's the pitching, whether they hit the offensive performance, defense takes a night off, something. But how they're ultimately put together, that's just how you play the game, man. I'd roll out with those guys 100% of the time to see what they do. And when it comes to their front office, you got Dayton Moore and Skip Schumacher and Chris Young, obviously at the top of that. You got some pretty significant baseball minds. You've got Kip Fagg and the scouting department he leads, and those guys been around a long time. I was in Kamloops for our stuff, and they had 4 guys there. Well, it's another organization that had 4 guys there: an area guy, West Coast guy, special assignment guy, and a national guy, and they were bearing down. And that's hard to do in Kamloops, right? I mean, what are you in Kamloops for? And it wasn't like they were there for one player; they're there for 3 days. So it tells you a lot about how much they put into it. And so I'm very impressed with the Texas Rangers and their organization, and to the front office member who told me I was being biased. Hey, you
was a front office member.
Yeah. You want to? He was messing around with me. He was front office.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and put our events in your ballpark, maybe you get a 65 too. All right, so and then there's a couple that brought up the back end,
okay.
that scuffled.
All right, so my issue isn't with the organizational grade. It's the in case you missed it, is the definition of mediocre. Also worth noting, I don't know if for those who live in the Houston area who watch us, I know the Astros had sent this out to us that
wait a minute.
On August 2nd, it is a groundbreaking event at the intersection of horsepower and home runs. For the first time ever, Daikin Park, home of the World Series champions, will transform into an automotive paradise for the All-Stars car show. So it's going to be
Sorry.
It's the first of its kind event. It's the only car show in history to be hosted inside a Major League Baseball stadium. So you're going to talk about the rarest cars in the world, like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens, Porsches, and some other stuff. But so they will be showcased throughout the ballpark, on the field, and at home plate in diamond lots north and south, as well as the Apache Grove. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, nobody knows what it is, Jason. So they
Crawford Street and around the concourse. So that was announced. So basically, there's a bunch of different ticket options. You can get the general admission, which is $26. The field access, which includes everything in general admission, plus exclusive entry to the warning track where rare and exotic vehicles will be featured. That's almost $50. So I guess it's newsworthy because the Astros claim that it is the first time ever that a Major League Baseball stadium has hosted a car show. Now, I've seen some comments that some people kind of are questioning that, but I don't know. I didn't do the research. That was clearly what the Astros were saying, but certainly a lot of people who listen and watch us, they're into cars, so I felt that should also be mentioned on the program here. All right, everybody. That's going to do. No, I'm just saying people should leave their comments. And what is your definition of mediocre? What is your definition of mediocre? Leave it below, and then we will discuss the next time around on whether Jeremy's use of the word mediocre is applicable in this situation.
How did we go right by the Marlins? We went right by the Marlins.
We went right by the Marlins?
Yeah, we brought in all these different teams in the 50s and the 60s, and we went right by the Marlins.
Well, here's the thing. We only have 3 minutes remaining.
Okay.
This was supposed to be a quick show, but the ones that are supposed to be quick never are. Miami Marlins, 19-27. Oh, my goodness. You're over. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know what you were doing.
Overall organizational grade is a 20.
Deuce.
No, well, Deuce is 2. Deuce Cero.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, 2. Go ahead, keep reading.
The steps backward for Miami continue. It's hard to understand what direction they're actually taking. Demoting Kim Ji and then allowing her to leave. No, I don't care what that says to the new people in town. Was a horrible move. She needed other people around her, but not to supervise her moves. Needs to shake themselves. I said Kim's name correctly, right?
It's Ing for me, I
think.
Ing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, it's yeah. But
that was that.
I didn't know what else to write. I was mad writing that thing. Anyway, all right.
They need to shake themselves. Yeah, Kim Ing. I should know that, for goodness sakes. Come on, Jason.
All right.
All right. Well, this was we had a spirited debate this time around.
I mean, hey.
Normally what we do is I wind up Jeremy from the back and just let him go. But one thing we are definitely not is mediocre.
That's it.
Then again, maybe we are. I don't know, because if we were mediocre, we'd be in second. We could be in second place in some divisions.
Well, yes, and we're not. We're actually a first place club. So I want to thank all of you who think we're mediocre for watching just the same. I appreciate your viewership and your loyalty, and keep them coming.
All right, everybody, make sure to check out the post on futurestarseries.com. Apologies to Kim Ing. And the Marlins need to shake themselves, and mediocre is the word of the day.
Can we get one more in real quick? The A's. You see the A's? Just one more, because we covered the division.
I wanted to talk about Jacob Wilson.
Well, okay.
But we don't have time. So next time we'll talk about Jacob Wilson.
Man,
he can play. Man,
what about the A's?
Overall grade 50 with their Las Vegas relocation a certainty. A's have been feisty despite an underwhelming roster. Tyler Soderstrom and Jacob Wilson represent hope, but the future franchise needs a reset. The A's will continue to grow from within, keep their pattern of frugality. Luckily for them, they've drafted well for years. Depth is starting to show. Overall organization grade is a 50.
Yep, keep going.
Needs. Oh, my computer just died. I don't have it.
It said it doesn't matter.
My screen just went blank.
It said it doesn't matter.
That's a sign, everybody. For Jeremy, I'm Jason. Thanks for listening and watching this episode of Extra Bases. Have a good one, everybody.